our communities by our side, there's no telling where our next small steps could lead.
What's up, guys? It's Jason here, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Company Insight. How many of you guys have used LinkedIn before?
I don't know, 3 or 4.
Days, weeks, months?
Yeah, maybe 5.
If you have used LinkedIn, you probably noticed that there has certainly been a rise, and we are currently witnessing a fall of sorts in this social media pioneer over the years. I can testify as someone who's used the platform throughout my life in different roles in the past. As a job seeker, job poster, small business owner, and co-founder, CEO, and CFO of one of the largest startups in Southeast Asia. In this video, I'm going to talk about the story behind the rise and fall of LinkedIn and what happened to LinkedIn over the years with the identity crisis it faces today. But first, I need a quick favor from you. If you wouldn't mind just hitting that like button for the YouTube algorithm, it would help me out a ton. The more engagement a video like this gets, the more likely the YouTube algorithm is to push it out to more people to enjoy. And as this is a brand new channel, it helps out a ton and it's free to do. Thanks for doing that, and now let us continue on with the current state of LinkedIn video. How did LinkedIn start? Social media serves an entertainment purpose. When you scroll and occasionally post, the prize comes in the form of social validation of your life's performance. This makes social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter great arenas for sharpening your public persona. However, with these great websites, there are a few drawbacks. With your name publicly available, you may be the target for advertisements to convince you to buy or check out something you might not have been interested in before. Swimming against the current and staying clear of the time drain and useless social media feeds, there has always been a more conservative, practical site that serves as a Rolodex for your connections that was LinkedIn. LinkedIn was the practical professional network site that, for years, was kept simple in an age of needless innovation. Let us take a look into the history of this unique networking platform. The meteoric rise of LinkedIn began in 2002 with Reid Hoffman, a founding member of PayPal and a lesser-known .com boom website, socialnet.com. As one of the founding fathers of massive internet-based corporations, Hoffman was a board member of Google, PayPal, and eBay before co-founding LinkedIn. Hoffman's vision for LinkedIn did not commingle with the modern-day attention economy that major social media sites prescribe to. We're here to build a business, not to create something cool. And I think they can monetize what they have built, probably by adding in more e-commerce. But I think the opportunity on the business side is ultimately larger. Setting his sights on the practical benefits of a professional networking site allowed Hoffman and his development team to craft the most in-depth user profile system on any non-leisure website. The strict practicality of LinkedIn marked it as a black sheep among its peers, who cascade news feeds with clickbait and attention manipulation. LinkedIn's simplistic structure was intuitive and attracted serious professionals to broadcast their professional networks to their peers and prospective business partners. Well, that was before the LinkedIn decline that I'll talk about soon. A history of LinkedIn. LinkedIn thrived throughout the tech boom of the early 2000s. Let's take a look at some major milestones in LinkedIn's road to success. August 2004, 1 million user milestone reached. March 2006. After sinking millions into their data infrastructure, LinkedIn experienced its first month of profitability. April 2007. 10 million user milestone reached. February 2008, LinkedIn Mobile comes to the Apple App Store. June 2008, a venture capital group, including Greylock Partners and Sequoia Capital, bought a $53 million stake in LinkedIn. This investment equaled a 5% stake in the company, valuing LinkedIn at over $1 billion. 2010-2011, LinkedIn more than quadrupled its workforce from the beginning of 2010 to the end of 2011, growth from 500 to 2,100 full-time employees. May 2011, LinkedIn goes IPO and is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, under the symbol LNKD. At opening that day, individual shares were priced at $45. In their meteoric form, LNKD rose over 100% that day. February 2016. After a poor fourth quarter 2015 earnings report, LinkedIn's stock price plummeted more than 43% in one day, wiping out $11 billion of market value. 2017. According to LinkedIn, so process this staggering statistic with that source in mind, 94% of business-to-business marketers use LinkedIn to distribute content. January 2017. Microsoft acquires LinkedIn for more than $26 billion. 2019. LinkedIn broadens their business plan by launching Open for Business, a freelancer-specific wing of the platform, rather than the traditional full-time employment orientation LinkedIn was known for. June 2020. Jeff Weiner, CEO and longtime LinkedIn executive, stepped down into a lesser role, making room for Ryan Roslansky, former senior vice president, to step into the CEO position. July 2020. LinkedIn laid off 6% of their workforce. Newly minted CEO Ryan Roslansky claimed the 906 layoffs were a direct result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The numbers speak for themselves. LinkedIn has already grown from conception in 2002 all the way to 2016. After a foreboding fourth quarter in 2015, LinkedIn made some big changes, not least among them being acquired by Microsoft. This shifted the course of the website, taking the practical focus that built LinkedIn so thoroughly and shifting to accommodate Microsoft, the needs of the fourth largest corporation in the world. Microsoft holds 77% of the global personal computer market. Attaching itself to this level of success should have yielded positively for LinkedIn. The promising sign for the professional networking site was the 310 million user profile growth since the merger. Blending seamlessly with an industry-leading Microsoft Office suite, LinkedIn seemed to be a natural fit with a professionally minded Microsoft. The only concerning point to note here is the focus on user engagement that LinkedIn has been pushing in recent years. A marketability method affiliated with the social networks with algorithm-based suggestions to keep users compulsively visiting the platform. In my opinion, after all, the purpose of a professional network is to maintain and grow your connections. But once this desire takes the Facebook turn, where quantity of connections outvalues the quality of genuine connections, LinkedIn's practical focus shifts. Positive user growth, but negative change. In a Bloomberg business article, John Ehrlichman sang the praises of the Microsoft merger, saying, "The driving force behind this outperformance is an improved product. People are spending more time on LinkedIn because they are more engaged, whether it's because of the content on the platform, messaging features, or more relevant connections to other professionals." Please note the 3 points of engagement the author pointed out: content on the platform, messaging feature, and relevant connections. Of these, only one is a measurable concrete change, that being the addition of a messaging feature, a tool that is secondary in its utility for a professional networking website. It is secondary with regards to the original mission of LinkedIn, which was to be a way for professionals to share their circle of trust, to generate more connections. The purpose of LinkedIn is to establish and broaden, to prospective clients and business partners, one-person circle of trust. A circle of trust is a profound tool in the life of a business person and goes beyond an Instagram friend-level connection. As in, there is a difference between affiliating with someone socially and affiliating with them professionally. These two connection types are different and deserve different platforms. They have a different tone. Quality does not equal quantity. LinkedIn is built to be a useful source for hiring managers, job seekers, and prospective business partners. But, and that's a big but, this is based on one assumption that cannot be taken for granted. LinkedIn is built to have detailed user profiles that give a practical look into the professional life of an individual. It is built to show one's connections to trustworthy members of a given industry's community. Without detailed profiles, the whole model goes to rot. For someone in human resources that's hiring, he or she is looking for quality connections, validating that their prospective employee is a legitimate, known person in their field of expertise. For the job seeker, they long for the legitimate connection to a trustworthy figure in their industry that will act as a real or implied recommendation for any employer seeking their services. Now, if detailed and thorough profiles are what LinkedIn needs to thrive, the opposite certainly would be detrimental to the utility of the site. Redditors on the current state of LinkedIn. A recent discussion thread on the popular open media website Reddit gained notable attention on the entrepreneur subreddit titled "LinkedIn is for recruiters and job seekers and executives to circle each other. Change my mind." The discussion was highly contested by pro-LinkedIners as well as those more cynical about the current direction of the platform. Let us dive into a few highlights from this thread on the current state of LinkedIn. We can see that a social media figure would want to generate the most activity on their posts to help boost their algorithm on the platform. One Redditor comments, "The amount of water-treading motivational messages are staggering. Positivity is good when someone broadcasts an accomplishment. The problem is, when waves of water-treading comments boost a post to the top of user news feeds, the functionality of LinkedIn begins to shift. It shifts from a relevant discourse between professionals to a clout-chasing winners contest where nothing of substance is shared in the comment section." The most popular response was from a Redditor who shared his view. "The worst part about LinkedIn is all the fandom going on. Non-executive people blatantly sucking up to CEOs and cult personalities with some delusion that they may advance their career from it. It's like Instagram and TikTok, but instead of teenagers, young adults, it is business attire circle jerk." With the recent addition of the direct message feature, another user noted, "Most of the people who contact me on LinkedIn are trying to sell me something." The value of a direct messaging feature is clear. For those freelancing through LinkedIn, they can be contracted out and communicate brief goals with the hiring party, all without leaving the comfort of the site. However, random strangers pinging you on LinkedIn asking to hop on quick Zoom calls, I'll pass on that.
What?
There is a backdoor to this convenience. Where once upon a time there was a period when LinkedIn users would greet a notification with hope and promise of either a valuable connection or a job leads response, now much of the notifications the average user receives take on a marketing tone. For Instagram and Twitter users, shameless copy and paste marketing campaigns occupy a significant portion of their DMs. This was definitely not a positive move for LinkedIn to follow suit. This is a failure of LinkedIn. Why I hate LinkedIn: the trouble with rapid growth and fake profiles. How many of you guys have received LinkedIn spam or received messages from LinkedIn spam bots? Personally, I've received LinkedIn invitation requests where it says we have X number of mutual connections. However, when I ask all the mutual connections if they know the person, no one actually knows that person asking for the connection at all. In this sense, all the connections on LinkedIn are meaningless. These trends, coupled with the rapid user growth of LinkedIn, is a negative sign for the platform that was once known as trusted, functional, professional networking. This is the cost of rapid growth. And now with a mass influx of users, it makes it easier to flood the site with a fake LinkedIn profile and fake LinkedIn accounts. In 2019 alone, LinkedIn took action against more than 21 million accounts they could confidently deem fake. With algorithm-based metrics that dictate what is most visible to users, stacking posts with fake account indicators is a surefire strategy to breaking the LinkedIn system. The social media drama of LinkedIn. The acquisition by Microsoft and subsequent user profile boom has brought LinkedIn to more prominence to the social media landscape. In my opinion, this growth may have continued to be a problem for the site as it distracts from its ultimate purpose to serve as a legitimate professional networking site. The unfocused growth LinkedIn is experiencing leads the site down the ugly road of other dominant social media platforms, loaded with mass amounts of fake profiles and water-treading comments threads used more for the utility of boosting a post rather than deepening a conversation. LinkedIn is moving away from utility towards corporate profitability. In that sense, why doesn't everyone just upload their resumes to Indeed.com and save themselves from the social media drama of the current state of LinkedIn? Now, let me be clear that LinkedIn is not 100% all bad. I've hired incredible people who have gone out of their way to find and message me. I've also used LinkedIn to search for people to network and discuss business opportunities with. Companies I've worked at have also used LinkedIn to find new clients. However, in my opinion, the LinkedIn now is different and worse from the LinkedIn from 5 years ago. Or maybe I'm just nostalgic. What do you think of LinkedIn? Do you think there's a rise and fall of LinkedIn? Please share your thoughts in the YouTube comments section below. So with that said, thank you so much for watching my video. There was a significant amount of research and production that went into making this video possible, so if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like and leaving a comment in the YouTube section below, it would really help out a lot. Be sure to check out some of my other videos like the Rise and Fall of New York or the Rise and Fall and Rise Again of Playboy. Thank you again for watching and stay tuned for another episode of Company Insight next week.